I came across somebody's social media this week, and they were talking about how you show up, the energy you bring to the table, how important that is. Super, super true. I created the IEP methodology. I created the 5 steps to intentional impact, the presence reboot, this whole idea that your presence is your impact. So yes, 1000%. How you show up, the energy you bring to the table is super, super important. But this person, as they were talking all about it in terms of like how that means they're going to make more money and how that means they're going to, be more influential, and how that means they're going to be able to basically manipulate people into doing what they want them to do by their energy that they're bringing, which, okay, fine. I can subscribe to that. But the piece that's missing, and the piece that I think we want to really, really be paying attention to, is that if you're working on your energy and you're working on your presence, and the sole intention is so that you make more sales, you are able to manipulate people essentially to do what you want them to do, and you are able to have more influence because of the energy you're bringing, girl boss energy was a phrase that I heard recently, which no, thank you. I have zero interest in girl boss energy. I've heard people talking about CEO energy and, just baller energy. Okay. That is what your intention is behind working on your energy and your presence and taking care of yourself and all these different things. If that is what your intention is behind being a better leader, is so that you can manipulate, influence, and get people to do what you want. If that's your intention, it's going to be really, really hard to do it, because the intention is actually not coming from a pure place. It's not coming from a pure place. When we do this work with the IEP methodology, we've been doing this since 2003, really built out the methodology in 2014. So about 12 years now of really, really, really working with leaders around this. You have to go deeper than that. The intention behind why you're doing this work, the intention behind why you're taking care of your energy, the intention behind why you want to show up as a better leader, it cannot just be because you want to influence people differently. It has to be for something much bigger than that. So we work on this constantly in our programs. We work on this constantly with what is the actual intention of why you're doing that, which ultimately, if you can get to the true intention of that, which is really coming from a place of service and intention for impact and intention for seeing other human beings and intention for making other human beings feel important and cared for. If you can get to an intention that is cleaner than just being about yourself, 1, the work becomes a lot more sticky. 2, people that you're working with, they actually feel that. And 3, it's just a little bit more pleasurable. So watch your intention for any kind of work that you're doing. So here are some reasons not to do this work. Don't work on your energy and your presence and how you show up as a leader if you're doing it simply to manipulate other people or to get your way. Don't do it. It's shallow. It's not going to work. People are going to see right through it. It might work for a minute, but you know what? Your people, they're going to notice it. They're going to see it every single time. I've seen it happen so many times. So don't work on it just to get your way, be more manipulative, beat out your imposter syndrome. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not a good enough reason to work on your energy and your presence. Don't work on your energy and your presence because you're just trying to protect yourself. This is actually really common. I see this a lot. People will often come to this work because they're so overwhelmed by other people's energy and negativity and toxicity and whatnot, that they just work on it to protect themselves so that they can hold their space, is the way that I talk about it in this work. So don't do it just for that. What the impact of that is, then you walk around and you're more armored up. It's helpful if you have a really hard time holding your space. It's good. I'm not saying don't do it, but that can't be the primary intention. Don't do this work just because you want to look good and you want to do something that's different and innovative. Like, that's not a good enough reason to work on your energy and your presence. It's just not. It's not a good enough reason. All these reasons are very, very surface. They will not be sustainable. And when it gets hard, because honestly, if you're creating a true, strong, solid, energetic presence, and you're creating true, solid leadership through your presence, that's actually really deep work. That actually requires not surface level work. That requires truth telling. It requires getting into alignment. It requires hard work. So if you're doing it for really shallow reasons, or for manipulative reasons, or for reasons that are really about you looking good versus being of service to other people, being more effective, being able to contribute more in the world, being able to hold your space when everything is going crazy around you and there's a lot of negativity and there's a lot of fear and et cetera, et cetera. If you're doing it just for yourself to look good, it's not going to work. It won't be sustainable. You won't be able to do the hard, you won't want to do the harder work. You won't want to stick with the harder work when the time comes. Now, if you're doing it for all of the above reasons, like here's the reasons to do it. I have a really hard time going in the negative. So now I'm just going to go to the reasons to do it. Do this work if you want to hold your space because you realize that you're very susceptible to other people's energy and toxicity. And so therefore it takes you kind of off your game. You lose your power and you get distracted by it. So if you're doing it to hold your space, so that you can actually hold your space and see what's what and be a more effective leader and be more discerning and be more neutral in things, do this work. If you're doing it to be more in service of other people, if you're doing it to be a better leader, to really create a safer space for your people, whether that's your spouse or your child or your direct reports or your boss or your colleague to come to, if you're doing it for that reason, that's a good reason to do this work. If you're doing it because you want to be more effective, yes, do it. Earlier I said, okay, I can subscribe to that when I was talking about, you're trying to manipulate an outcome. I understand that. That's what I mean. I'm not endorsing manipulation. I am understanding it. That's why I subscribe. I want to be really clean about that. So if you're doing it to help shape an outcome, yes, do it. But make sure the reason why you're shaping that outcome, make sure that there's a good intention behind it. If you're doing it just for your gains, if you're doing it for something that is not of service, that is not, I think of it of the light, but it's more of a dark thing, then that's not going to work. So you want to do it for service. And so I guess the ultimate hack at the end of all of this is to check. We're right back to where we started. To always check, what is your intention for what you're doing? If you want to change your energy and your presence and you want to be the kind of leader that goes in, because your energy is your differentiator. The way that you show up in a room, it is the thing that makes you different. It is the thing that's going to make people respond and be magnetized towards you and want to listen and want to follow what you're offering, et cetera, et cetera. Like your energy is your differentiator, 100%. But my invitation to you is to really watch out for your intentions behind why you're shifting your energy and what you're doing it in service of. This is the place where I see this work get manipulated, and I see where people will sometimes learn the IEP method and then they'll go out and they'll use their energy as kind of a bat. They'll use it to manipulate things. And that's missing the point completely. That's not it. So do it to show up better for yourself. Do it to take care of yourself. Do it to be of greater service in the world. Do it to create more impact. Do it because you really, truly want to connect from a place of authenticity and alignment. And you want to make sure that you can hold your space in doing that. So these are all things to think about. I hope this was useful. Actually, I know it was useful if you listened to it and were really present with it, but really just watch your intentions. We're going to be talking about this a lot next week at the presence practice on the 12th. We're going to talk about intentions and what is behind why you're working on your energy, your alignment, your leadership, et cetera, et cetera. Why are you doing it? And I promise you, when you get clear about this, really clear and really honest, the work becomes that much easier. And those hard days become that much easier because your level of devotion is not just about you. Okay. No, girl. I mean, you can have girl boss energy if you want, but check your intention behind that. Why do you need girl boss energy?